Hello, good morning. Good morning. I forgot I got my hair cut. I'm always looking at my hair. I guess better than looking at my face, huh? I got my my Snoopy eyebrows on because I didn't wash off the stuff from yesterday. Anyhow, good morning, good morning. I've been up since 6. I've had some caffeine. So yeah, I might be a little bit much this morning. But that's okay. I'm here to help you. Good morning, Katrina and Julie Harris. Um, what am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Nanny and the Professor for some reason. Sunchaser 26, 60 Bernie. Nice to see you all. Good morning, good morning. It's still pretty dark out. I don't even think the sun is out yet, but it's this time of year, it's crazy. It's the world we live in. So, let me do this. What's going on? Good morning. Good morning, Farm Girl 11. So funny. You've got the 2 R's, like the Riot Girl 2 R's, and then you've got the L, and then you've got the 1 1. It reminds me of my husband's last name is Hillis, and it's an H with 2 like these, and then an I, and then an L, and then an L, and then an I, and then like a little zip at the end. So good morning, everybody. Katrina, Mimsy, Claudia. Good morning. I am drinking out of my huge mug today. Yesterday, when I did my TikTok live, I did a TikTok live in the afternoon, and I had no mug at all. And I'm in front of my computer for like 3 hours solid today. So it's funny. I want to be hydrated, but I don't want to be too hydrated because I'm going to have to go pee. So good morning, everybody. If we haven't met before, I'll just throw this out there. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and I help you declutter your life. And my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Now, I will always say that, so I work a lot in my my 3 languages are, there we go, Laura Gibbon Voorhees, you helped me get out of get your tuchus out of bed, huh? Alrighty, wrap yourself in a bathrobe, get yourself something, treat yourself nice, and let's hang out. I'm going to be doing this TikTok live just to set expectations. I'm going to be here for like the next hour or so, 56 minutes. There we go. Hey, Tucson. I didn't realize you were in Tucson, Kat Roby. So this is wicked early for you. Kat Roby, she calls it her Beth blinders. She puts on her blinders and says, okay, while I am doing a TikTok live, she will do a task, do some decluttering. So she says, scheduling Beth blinders in Tucson, decluttering my task list with you all today. Yeah, there we go. I love it. Use this time. Here's the deal. If we haven't met before, so I do these TikTok lives. And what I do is invariably I try to encourage you and give you some specific things you can do to get yourself started when you're stuck decluttering. The other thing too, though, to know about these TikTok lives is nothing really goes on the screen. I will point to things occasionally, but hopefully when I'm pointing, I'm also describing them. So even if you're not looking at the screen, you can gain the benefit of this TikTok live. Feel free to multitask, okay? Now, I say this because time is precious, so you have some time this morning. If we hang out together, feel free to just chill, do what you want. But if you want to do some decluttering while I'm here, many people do that. You're not alone. Kat Roby's in Tucson doing that. I'm here in Pennsylvania. Farm Girl, I think you're in Texas. I could be wrong. Yeah, and Jennifer says so early. Yeah, Tuesdays are my early days. They are. I have a client that I meet at 6 a.m. So I do one-on-one coaching with people. I'm a paid decluttering life coach. So people, hire me to be their coach. And I have one client that said, could you meet at 6 a.m.? And I thought, I'll give it a shot. And we have made that work. Do I offer 6 a.m. slots to other clients? No, because that is a wee bit early for me. But I do start at 7 a.m. because I'm a bit of an early bird. I know that once I get up, I can be a little bit more, I have some energy in my tank now. I also know that other people are night owls. My night owl husband is forever going to bed at 2:30 in the morning. I say this to encourage you that there are certain ways that you are wired. You're right-handed, I'm left-handed, I get energy in the morning, maybe not you. Work with what you have. Okay, Tennessee, Farm Girl, Tennessee, I feel like I'm, what is it? Not Diggable Planets. Who was it? De La Soul. One of those was, I'm digressing. I'm getting myself distracted. Now that one persona says, I love early morning cleaning with Beth. Yeah. Abbott Elementary's in Florida, right? So we're all over the place, but we're all up right now. And I'm here to just kind of keep you company and encourage you about decluttering. Whether you're doing it actively while I'm doing this TikTok live, please feel free to do that. Please, surface clutter is great. Surface clutter when I am doing a TikTok live is great. If you don't know what surface clutter is just the stuff that's, not where it's supposed to be. In whatever way you think of that. It could be trash that's not in the trash can yet. It's clean laundry that's not folded yet or put away yet. I love the word yet. I think one of my friends has an actual tattoo of it. I think Jessie does. And so I encourage you to feel free to do some decluttering while I'm here. What you're going to notice, so I like to talk about the 3 levels of clutter, about surface clutter, stored clutter, and sentimental clutter. You can fairly easily declutter while I'm in the background when you're listening to me, the surface area, because your brain already knows where things should go. Once you get into stored clutter, when you're trying to determine what you have stored and should I keep it or should I not, that's decision making. In order to make a good decision, you need to tune me out when I'm actively talking like this, and you need to listen to yourself. Now, making decisions is decluttering. As I like to say, decluttering is decision making. And decluttering is deciding, as in the immortal words of The Clash, should I stay or should I go? Does this thing in my life stay or does this thing in my life go? Or am I not ready to make that decision on this one thing just yet? So I encourage you to use this time to declutter, but better yet, because this will help other people too as well as yourself. If you know that you're good with your surface clutter, if you're not, we can start there, totally. But if you've got something that's keeping you stuck in other areas of any areas of clutter, why gatekeep it? Where are you stuck? Where do you get stuck when you're decluttering? You may get stuck before you even get started. You may not even start, and that's stuck. Now, I was saying earlier, I hope I'm speaking English well to communicate with you when I do my TikTok lives, but also I speak in metaphor, and you're going to hear a lot of pop culture references because I'm a Gen Xer, and it's just how I'm hardwired, okay? So I just mentioned the Clash. Earlier I was talking about Diggable Planets. I love music, and I will burst into song because that's how my brain goes, and it makes me laugh. And when I crack up at myself, then I don't know, I just smiling and laughing. Let's have fun and get it done. Let's not make it. Maybe one of the reasons why you're not decluttering is because you think it's going to be hard and torturous and painful, and it's going to take forever, and all those dramatic words. Oh, falling on the fainting couch. Like that Edward Gorey lady at the beginning of PBS's Mystery, right? Oh, it's so awful. I couldn't possibly. I like to have fun and get it done. See, this is me. I like to have fun, but at a certain point, like we could sit here chatting about stuff, chatting about it, drinking our coffee. But at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, let's turn this energy into action. Let's not just sit here warming up the car. Let's get into gear and drive somewhere good. Now, that is one of my main metaphors I will share with you, besides pop culture, is metaphor. And I will work with anything. I will share this with you guys. I have a lot of one-on-one clients. And many of my clients come from different backgrounds. And so I love being able to, it's fun to me to realize the solid framework of how I coach can have a lot of different costumes on it. So I can explain the concepts of decluttering to my client who owns a dance studio, as well as I can for the person who's a writer, as well as I can for the stay-at-home mom, as well as and use the the language of the retiree and the language of the social activist. All of those things we can use that language, and yet to me I like to talk about road trips, because for pretty much the entire time I ever got my driver's license I realized the freedom when you can drive your life to wherever you want to go. So I will work a lot in road trip metaphors. So even this morning you're waking up. Best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. I use PG tips myself. I'm a tea drinker. You wake up this morning and you have a certain amount of energy in your tank. Now, ideally, you have physical energy. And if you don't, there are things you can do to maybe build that up. You get up, maybe you do some exercise, maybe you eat something healthy. You go to the bathroom, you make yourself comfortable, you make yourself feel good physically. Another tank that you want to check before you drive today, like when you're in your car and you're saying, okay, I've got gas in the car, oil looks good. The other one that you have kind of in your own physical body is you have decision-making energy. You have a finite amount of energy today. You've got a certain amount of energy in your tank today that's going to assist you in making decisions. Now, the interesting thing is this is a tank that as you use it, kind of like your gas tank, the level will go down. So you can fritter away, and that's totally judgy, but you can waste a lot of your decision-making time on things that are of not great consequence. Or you can say, hey, you know what? I'm going to make some decisions today, and I'm going to use the energy I have to make some decisions that I know are going to kind of speed me through. Remember like Chutes and Ladders, that game, Chutes and Ladders? That if I make this decision now, this is going to like shortcut me to that destination that I want. Like me being decluttered, it doesn't really matter what clothes I wear, so I don't want to waste too much time deciding what I'm going to be wearing. I mean, I grew up in the 80s, and I was a punk rocker, so of course I've been wearing black on the outside because black is how I feel on the inside, right? So I am doing that because black doesn't show stains, it matches everything, and I don't have to think about what to wear. When I don't use some of my precious thinking energy on what to wear, I can use that thinking energy elsewhere. So I ask that of you. What decisions could you make today? What could you decide to do today and then do it that would get you kind of like that secret shortcut to what your destination is? Now you're like, I don't even know what the hell's a destination. So I will share this with you. Many people say it's a goal. I'm not goal. Like that's a sporty thing to me. I don't speak. It's comical when you hear me try to speak sports. I'm always inevitably calling the team a band and their uniforms costumes because I am in a creative environment. I live with a musician. That's my life. But what I will say to you is a goal is a destination, but that you're excited to get to. Think about a vacation destination. Think about a vacation destination and how, when you think about that, it kind of goes like, ooh, that's going to be fun. I want to go there. Like this weekend, we are going for just a short weekend, like 2 nights. We're going out to Boulder, Colorado, and we've got some stuff going on. Now, we made that plan. We wanted to go there and do some things, and then we did some things to get there. We bought plane tickets. We scheduled some restaurants to go to. We are going to pick up my nephew and do certain things, you know? There we go. Imagine you saying, I hope both bands have fun. Yeah. Well, you know what the neat thing is there's not really a competition. I'm not even a competing person, but yeah. But notice when you have a destination you're excited to get to, that will encourage you to do things that if the destination was kind of like, oh, I'm going to go get a root canal, how you're going to kind of drag your feet on that even if you have to go. The energy that you have in your body, and I'm talking physical energy, because if you're tired, you won't want to do stuff, but mental energy and kind of like nervous system energy. When you get kind of excited about stuff and you're like, ooh, you know what? This could be good. Wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be good to be in your shoes? Whose shoes would you like to be in? Clown shoes? Stilettos? Slippers? What life do you want? Now, the cool thing is, and I'm not saying this to show off, please, you know I'm not a show off, but I am loving the life I'm living, and I'm living the life I'm loving. It wasn't always this way, but I show up to show you it can be done. Okay? There we go. Yeah, that one persona. I love it. It says, booked a trip to Salem next year based on my road trip advice. I want to go. How do I get there? Yeah, and you can get to your destination any way you choose. Now, that one persona, you could walk there. You could take a go-kart. You could get on the bus. You could drive your car. You could fly and then take a car and then walk. Notice the different ways in which we get to certain places. All of these are decisions. You say, how long is it going to take me? How much is it going to cost me? So a lot of this is decisions about clutter. You want to get to your destination decluttered. How do I want to get there? Now, I like using the road trip metaphor, but sometimes you're not even driving, you're just kind of walking. But notice the excitement you have about going to Salem. I'm wicked excited you're going to Salem too, because you're going to have a lot of fun there. When you're excited about something, you will be more likely to do things that you would pass on otherwise because you want to get to that destination. Decluttering is the same thing. It really is me is saying, where are you stuck? Where are you not moving towards that destination? And here's an important key thing that I want to share with you, because I was talking about it with my 6 a.m. client. Road trips are different than being a long haul trucker. They are similar. The similarities are thus: somebody behind the wheel, somebody behind the wheel. Destination, destination. Long haul truckers need to ignore a lot of stuff and just get to the end. And they rarely stop to pee, and they're taking trucker speed, and there's a certain goal with that. With a road trip, to me, a road trip means you have something to aim for. I was talking to my one-on-one clients yesterday. She literally just got back from a road trip that I helped her make happen from Chicago to LA. Only 2,000 miles along the way. Yes, she got her kicks on Route 66. So notice that. From Chicago to LA, you have that destination point. It's like math. Between 2 points is a line. What's your second point? If you don't have your destination, you can't even get to there, because your there is not there. So saying to yourself, what do I want my home to look like? And then listening for that answer and writing it down. And then working towards that and playing towards that and driving towards that. And having fun every day that you do it. Do not deny yourself the joy of everyday living. You can have fun and get it done decluttering wise. It's not like conjunction junction. I can have fun or get it done. No, a lot of people, I will share this with you, my clients, with people I know, you're just using the wrong conjunction. You're saying, but, or, I can do this or that. Now, sometimes you do need to make an either or, because you have a finite amount of time. So what are you spending your time on? Are you spending it on something that's going to make you feel good in the short term and long term? Or are you doing something that's going to be making you feel worse in the long term? Or can you do both? Yes, you can. Are you making excuses? Well, I could do that, but. So think about conjunction, junction. What's your function? And, but, and or. They'll get you pretty far. I could sing the whole song, but I'm not going to. So, destination decluttered. Here's how you start with that, is first of all, you calm down your nervous system. If you're overwhelmed, don't even try to do any of this until you de-overwhelm yourself, until you calm yourself down lovingly. Okay, how do we do this? If you're overwhelmed, breathing down, calming down, drinking down some water. Somebody said to me, another client of mine last week said she had to be in court once, and an attorney told her, you can't cry and drink water at the same time. So maybe you drink some water. Maybe you breathe down slowly. You calm down. You slow down. You write down. Notice all these things. Yeah, Cat Mama says, wow, your memory. I will share with you. I have a fear that I'm going to lose my memory in my 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, like the radio stations. Because I have dementia in my family. My dad had Lewy body dementia. My grandfather on the other side has Alzheimer's. My mother's like, that's going to be a lot of fun. So I am sharing, I'm connecting while my brain can still make those connections that make sense. Once, I might be sharp as a tack until I'm 100 and something, but who knows? But I share this with you. This is why I show up and do these TikTok lives like every day, almost every day, except for when I'm traveling, is because there is an urgency with which I want to encourage you to start living the life you live before something unforeseen happens and you're thrown for a loop. I find myself sometimes struggling for words. I notice when I do that, I tend to rub my fingers together, almost like, that money, 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 money. I noticed it when I was doing a TikTok live. I have to struggle sometimes with my words, but they're still there once I pause and find them. Yeah, that one persona, it is horrible. Yeah, and my dad had it before anybody really knew what it was, so he spent a lot of years misdiagnosed. It was heartbreaking. I am so much I am happy that is so much more research about it right now. And I just actually made a donation to the Lewy Body Dementia Association, because in memory of my dad, but somebody who I don't even know in real life, but here on TikTok that, she's commented on things. She just found out her mom has it. So see, life is going to happen. Life is going to throw you curveballs, and I'm not even a sporty person. So what can we do right now to get you going to be starting to drive towards the life you live? Now, let me share you with this too, is even being on the road to where you are can feel good, even if it seems like your destination is like states and states and miles and days away. Working towards something that makes you feel good is the reward in itself. That's the other cool thing about a destination, is that you're excited and you can see evidence of the destination on a daily basis. Today, when you clean off a section of your counter, that's your destination. You're feeling good about that little section that you did. No, Farm Girl 111 is saying, best decluttering tip for ADHD, please. I don't have one best one, but I'll hit you with some of these and see what resonates, and hang on to this. The ADHD brain. First of all, do not shame your brain. Do not feel ashamed and say, oh, your brain is wired differently than other people. Other people's brains are wired differently from you. What I encourage you to do is work with your natural tendencies, but also practice habits that get you working with your brain as opposed to fighting against it. So what do I mean by this? What I mean is, a lot of in my experience with the ADHD brain, your brain moves quicker than your body, quicker than your body and your energy. So you can sit here and go from here to there without even moving, but then you might get not motivated to move. So I say, notice that, and I say a lot of the ADHD brain, write stuff down. Lovingly slow down your brain so you can just hear all the things that are going on in there, because your brain is a creating machine. It's not a what do you call it? It is not a storage cabinet. It's not what's the filing cabinet. Don't use your brain as a filing cabinet. You can use external sources to file your stuff. Use your brain for the creative machine it is. Okay? So what I would say, Farm Girl, is to get a lot of your thoughts out of your head and onto paper. Do not get overwhelmed by that, though. Pick some things out to decide on your destination and start doing those things. Yeah, it is true. Yeah, there we go. Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, my husband knows when I haven't written a list because I either pinball around or I'm stuck. I'm going boom, 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 boom. No, think about this. The ADHD brain, you're going to make a roadmap to your destination. So start by embracing your brain and calming it down that there's nothing wrong with you. The ADHD brain kicks ass at a lot of things. But some things, what you tend to do, though, is left to your own devices. You wait for that power surge, that I'm in the zone, I'm going to do nothing, and then I'm going to spike, and then I'm going to crash. And I'm going to do nothing and spike and crash. Now, I'm not saying don't use those spikes of energy and insight and being in the zone. But if that's only when you're driving, then you're just going to miss out. Training yourself to do a little bit at a time as well helps you. That little maintenance, those little things in between, not the rage cleaning because somebody's coming, but the daily little mundane things that I know mundane things tend to get the ADHD brain bored and looking at different things. But you can train your brain to also just tidy up after yourself, because a lot of it, allowing your habit brain that just wants to make things easier, your habit brain encodes certain repeated tasks so that you don't have to think about it. You don't have to use as much energy. It's like shifting into another gear in your car that just you go on autopilot. The more you can be on autopilot with a lot of mundane things, you're not expending as much energy, so you have more energy for creativity. Now, if you don't have good systems to set up to make those habits easy, then your habits aren't easy and you never make the habit. Now, sometimes no matter what you do, getting a habit may not be easy, so then you use tools to help you do that. You write it down. Writing things down is a tool. Setting a timer is a tool. Making a checklist is a tool. I have all of those right here on my desk with me. Now, Ms. Krentis says timers and reminders on my phone have been lifesavers for me to stay on track. Yeah, and when you know that you can get in the zone and then get reminded to come out of it and then do something to get back into it, I love this. These are some tips from other people too. German Maid is saying, I listen to audiobooks or music while doing the daily mundane tasks, so my brain is occupied. Yeah, you don't rely on the task to provide you with that mental stimulation. You do the physical task of doing the dishes and you listen to stuff. I was trying to do TikTok. I was trying to listen to TikTok yesterday and do the dishes by hand. But it was like I had, dish water on my hands and I was trying to scroll. But notice that you want to be engaged. Your brain likes to think. It likes to do things, Okay. Now, T-Site, notice this. I'm psyching myself into an organized cleaning frenzy like manic or it's not working. Notice, though, when you are manic, you're also not making the best decisions. That's like driving 120 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone. That you are you are needlessly expending a lot of energy that you might be able to harness if you come down off the high of the frenzy. Sometimes people don't want to do that though. The ADHD brain can be afraid to come out of the frenzy, out of the manic area, because of the fear of not having energy and going to zero. So calming down your nervous system. Now here's the thing, you guys, I give you the non-chemical ways to calm yourself down because I'm not a doctor and I don't know these things. What I will say though is work with your inner chemistry. If your inner chemistry could benefit from taking some chemicals, prescribed of course, and those things help you, then do it. There is no harm, there's no shame in taking medicine to help regulate how you are wired to get to you where you want to go. Okay? So notice when you're manic, maybe you need to calm down and breathe down and slow down, but maybe your mind is still racing. How about getting all those racing thoughts down onto paper? Write them down, and I say this too, do not type them. When you write them down with your hand, you are by nature requiring your brain to walk at the pace of your body. To say it's like, up, no, here, hold on, I'm slow down. You have really good insights. I'm going to write all these things down. I have lists galore, organized, but lists galore on my computer and on a thing called Trello. I love knowing that they're there if I need to refer to them, but I don't try to store them up here. I get them out of me. Now I feel better. And when I feel better, I do better. Okay? All right. Okay, T-Site, I'm glad you called the doctor. Okay? That one persona is giving you a high five. Okay? It's okay that you've been in bed for days, but you notice the difference. Don't try to make up for lost time if you're going to be driving in a frenzy. It's trying to stop doing all or nothing tends to get you a lot of nothing. So just noticing that habitual way of being and play with doing something different. So instead of trying to declutter it all, start with something. Start with your surface clutter and just do it well. But I will not underestimate the requirement of some people that they need to have external chemicals to regulate how they are, or they do not function well for themselves or for other people. Okay? Now, Sandy says, I try to complete one cleaning item in an evening. By weekend, I feel ahead of the game. Okay? So T-Site, yes, notice how you're wired. Notice how when you're driving your car, you're going from being in the mud on the side of the road to try to make up for lost time. But this is not a race. This is not a race. Teaching yourself how to show up a little bit every day and do something is allowing that part of your brain that just wants to mechanize things, wants to routinize things, to, kind of like, what do I want to say? My brain goes back to the Industrial Revolution. There are certain tasks that can be mechanized. This is what the brain does. It says, how can I make this more efficient and easier? Oh, I created a rake instead of my hands. Oh, I created a combine instead of just my little rake. There are ways that we evolve things to make them easier. That is your pattern. That is your habit part of your brain. Allow it its chance to do the thing it does well. But you can't do it if you're spinning all over the place. And I know, because I've gotten into that, but it doesn't feel good when you're driving 90 miles an hour to try to play catch up. It doesn't. It can produce anxiety. So you slow down, you move too fast. You got to make the morning last. Just kick down the cobblestones and feel groovy. You can slow down and get things done. There's fear behind the person who's driving 95 miles an hour in the speedway. I'm not going to get there in time. Oh my God, I'm late. Fear of not doing something. But when you know that no matter that, have you ever done that? Have you ever been on the road where there's some manic person who is like driving crazy and they speed past you and you're still driving your 55 miles an hour, and then you get to the stop sign or the stop light, even better, and they are like literally right next to you? They got themselves all in a tiz where really if they had just kind of slow and steady won the race, you're both at the same stoplight. Okay. There we go. T-Site's feeling groovy. Good. All right. Cat Mama says, kind of took a break from inside after the cellar. Been in the yard and the porch is in progress. The family wants to come when it's done. Awesome. Yeah. Allow yourself to shift gears. Now, when the weather's nice, I want to be outside too. When the weather is cold and miserable, I want to be inside. Allow yourself the opportunity to focus on different areas, but notice how focus can help you get stuff done, and being distracted just kind of sprays the water all over the place and really doesn't water any one of the plants. You don't want to overwater a plant, but you want to notice it. Does it need more water or is it good? No, I'm not good at that. I'm not a good plant person. I will admit that. But so you know what I've done is I've set up my life to not have plants. It's probably why I'm not a mother either. But I knew that about myself, and I knew I would not be a good mom. I am a kick-ass auntie. I will give you that. But knowing about yourself and know what you want and what you don't want is part of decision making and decluttering. So yeah, that's getting pretty deep about decluttering. But decluttering really it's what it is removing the crap from your life. Is removing what you don't want and what you don't need. And all that you're going to be left with is what you want and what you need. And when you are only surrounded by stuff you want and stuff you need to function your life, it feels good. And it's so much easier to keep the house in shape. I am constantly amazed at how little time I spend on house cleaning. Now, there's those maintenance things. We do the dishes, we do the laundry. And I say we because I live with my husband and he participates in this. It's not this total patriarchal crapola. But there will be those mundane tasks. How can you make the mundane tasks just go by quickly and easily while you're able to get stuff done? And yes, Cat Ruby, Auntie's rule. Auntie's rule. We have an important part of in the world. We do. And that's why I'm going out to Denver, Colorado, and then driving to Boulder with my husband and picking up my nephew. And then we're going to Casa Bonita for dinner because Auntie Beth got reservations because she thought it would be fun and she thought he would have fun too. Yeah. So decluttering. Why do you continue to surround yourself with stuff that you don't want? Okay. Now, I don't say this in a judgy way. I mean, it may have come up like that. I am not judgy. Judginess, I know, will shut you down because it shuts me up. Now, damn it, Donna says I am up early. I am up early because I have a 6 a.m. client and I have an 8 a.m. client. But I decided, especially because, well, it's finally getting light out. So on Tuesdays, you may notice, and actually the people on my mailing list, I might as well do a shameless plug, but people on my mailing list, I have a Destination Decluttered. Hey, if we haven't met before, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. Destination Decluttered is my coaching. I'm here on TikTok, on YouTube. I have a website, destinationdecluttered.com. That's where you can sign up for my free mailing list. And the people on my free mailing list know that I schedule my TikTok lives in advance. They know this because they have the sneak peek into the schedule, so they know when to find me. Now, I say this because on Tuesdays, they will also know that I have a certain rhythm, that I have a 6 a.m. client and an 8 a.m. client. And then between that, I tend to do my TikTok live. Because then, after my 8 a.m. client, I have a little bit of wiggle room, and then I walk down the street and I do some yoga, and I come back, and then I have an 11 a.m. client. Notice how I have a bit of a routine. So I say this to you because you can also have a little bit of routine that helps you get stuff you want to do. You know? And user 616440 says join the mailing list if you haven't already done so. Yeah, destinationdecluttered.com/join. Wicked easy, wicked fun. Okay? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, why do we keep all the stuff, says Picky? I remind myself I don't need to be the keeper of all things. Yeah, I did that myself. I used to in the and many of us are of an age that we remember what it was like before a lot of stuff was available digitally. So if you wanted to remember the details about an article you read in the paper, you would keep that article or you would keep that paper. So a lot of us keep things to remind ourselves of something. Sandy is asking what is the list app I use. It's called Trello. I've used it for years now. I still use the free version, but man, does it work. I'm a collector of things, and now I collect thoughts and ideas, and I put them on Trello. I feel like I want to do like a Trello. Maybe I did this before. I did like a Trello kind of thing to show people how to use it. I might do that for my clients or have like a little paid, workshop or something. If you're interested in that type of thing, it's just off the top of my head. Listen to me, I'm off the top of my head. I'm scratching my head. That would be something I offer. I always offer the good stuff to my clients and my mailing list people too. So if that sounds of interest, if you want to learn how to use that, get on my mailing list, Yeah. Okay. So Picky is saying it, and I love the specifics. Specifics, this is one of my phrases. They say that the devil is in the details. I say that the delight is in the details. And I guess the decluttering is in the details. Because it's not about the general stuff. All the general stuff in your house is a whole bunch of specific things. So Picky is saying, what do I do with the extra large deluxe crayon container? The crayons are used, but the container is still good. Yeah, it just happened a couple of days ago. Perfect. Okay. It's good for what? No, I'm not going to say, just throw it away. I reuse containers all the time. Look back here. See all these containers? I put stuff in containers. But I've also learned that a good container, if I don't watch it, I can stack them up. I have a bunch of containers from getting caramel corn on the boardwalk in Rehoboth and Ocean City. I'm like, I could use this for something, but do I really? So what could you use it for? If you can use it for something, this is the difference. If you can use it for something, then use it for something. But notice if you're not using it for something, and if you're not, give yourself a while, put a 6-month, put a little sticker on it. Say okay, find a use for this before the end of the year. I don't know, arbitrary date, but a date will get specific. I'm going to find a use for this by December 31st. And if I haven't, I'm going to recycle it. Notice that. Yeah. The crayons are usable, but kids don't want used crayons, right? I don't know. Do kids want used crayons? I used used crayons. It's funny because you say this. I can picture the bucket of crayons that was at my grandmother's house. And it was one of those half-gallon plastic ice cream containers. And I had a bunch of broken crayons, and half of them were peeled off, but we still used them, Barbara says, what about the luxury cashmere coat that does not fit anymore, but is so close, and that maybe one day. Now that makes me think of Chrissy Hind and the Pretenders. Maybe tomorrow, maybe someday. So let me ask you this, Barbara. I know what it's like to have clothes that I no longer fit into. I am now menopausal, if not postmenopausal. Are you doing anything to change the shape of your body so it more comfortably fits in that coat? If you are, then maybe you want to hang out to it. Maybe that's going to motivate you to do the thing, whatever it is, to get your body to be a shape that fits comfortably in that coat. So give yourself a chance, but give yourself a due date too, a deadline, to just check in with yourself. Give yourself until, next year to fit in the coat. And if you're doing the things, then maybe you will fit into it. But if you're not fitting into the coat, cut yourself some slack. Everybody, cut yourself some slack. And maybe it's time, maybe your era of wearing that coat. I have a lot of clothes that I have recently donated in the past few years because even if I could fit in them, my body shape has changed. I used to wear things that had a waist. Now my waist is like this trunk. I'm trying to love myself as opposed to beating myself up for what I used to do. You know? Yeah. All right. T-Site's going to go do some stuff. Yeah. Notice what you can do. You can donate some things. Donate things to a nursing home. Yeah. My favorite colors lipsticks were the size of the mini sample, 1 inch or less. Yeah. You can do a lot with a little. Okay? But notice how you can save things. Notice the saving of the bucket and the coat are for not today, but this amorphous someday. Now, I am all about the amorphous someday, but I don't want it to be amorphous. I want to make that happen for you. So you can make that happen. What can you do today so you can fit into that coat? What can you do today so you don't have that thing that you don't want anymore in your house? Okay? Hello, Chrissy C. Jump. Nice to see you. So it's going to take effort on your part, but I don't mean effort in a bad way. You know, you make an effort to grow the things in your garden you want to grow. You make an effort to take you spend time and money on things that you want. Are those things that you want bringing you happiness? I hope they are. But notice when things you buy or inherit or bring into your life are not making you happy, that's when the decluttering is like, okay, this is not doing it for me anymore. Let me get this out of my life. Got to get you out of my life. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Yeah, there's things that are not working for you. Why are you hanging on to them? I'm pausing to give yourself a chance to answer your own question, my question, because the answer to that question is going to unlock a lot of insight as to why you may be cluttered. Okay? Yeah, no, this is a tough one. Yeah, Disney Mom says, what do you do with trophies or ones that are broken in the parts? Is there a place that would use it? Now, this is different because it all depends on where you live. Now, Disney Mom, I will share, my husband has a bunch of these like trophies that he's gotten, and they are kind of taking up place. I would get in touch. I would throw out a line to people in your area because there could be somebody, I don't know where you live, Disney Mom. I'm in Pennsylvania. You could be in, I don't know where, Utah. And they may do things differently there. Maybe you don't want to ship it. Google is going to be your friend. Noticing though that you don't want those trophies, Google what to do with trophies I don't want anymore in my area. See what comes up. Damn it, Donna says donate them. They can be recycled. Yep. I have my dad's. Yeah. Cat Mama says I have my dad's golf trophies. I have a shelf dedicated to them. You could do it. Okay, Florida. You know. All right. So notice this. See what they do out down there. See what they do. I would say, here's a funny thing. I would say normally I would ask a place that makes. You could even start here. You could start here to go to a trophy place to say, hey, I have these trophies I don't want anymore. Would you like them for the parts? So they might be able to reuse them for different trophies as opposed to buying new ones. That might appeal to them. So start with that. Go to a trophy shop. Can you think of anything? So there are ways. Let me just even give you this nice general thing. There are places for the things that you no longer want to go before they end up in a landfill. So your fear of, well, it's just going to go in the trash is misguided. There are so many ways that things can be donated, shared, whatever. Maybe there is a group in your area that does like a sporting thing or a dance thing for kids that don't have a lot of money, and maybe you want to donate them. Maybe, hey, I know you give out awards. Do you want these to give out to your kids? And then you peel off the little thing that says that my daughter won this or something. If there's anything that's, like specific about it, like the thing I want to do, I'll share you my idea. So my husband has won a lot of awards from this radio station throughout the years. and they are always the same size. So they're the same template. And I said, I want to make almost like I think it's the Stanley Cup. I'm talking more about sports today than I ever do. But I'm thinking of Bobby Orr, the Stanley Cup, where it's like huge and it's big and it's silver and it's sporty. And I said to him, what I want to do is I want to take all those little things that say, best songwriter or, best album of the year or whatever. And I want to pull those off and I want to make it so there's like one kind of base that has all those things on it, but then it just has one of the little things on top. And then I can donate the rest of those things to, I don't know, they're having a bed race down the street from me. Got to Google it. But maybe they want to hand out awards at the bed races. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, maybe local schools could reuse it for something. There are ways. I just want to share this helpful thought that could make you feel better about not wanting those things. There are ways that you can find better homes for the things that you want than your home right now. Notice everybody's got their ideas. Our brains are problem-solving machines. So now that you've put it in somebody else's brain, your brain says that, my brain says that, maybe some of these things will resonate. Okay? Now, Chrissy C. Jump, you're asking about something that's really interesting. I'm trying to figure out, notice, I'm trying to solve a problem. Hey, brain, how to stop cluttering up my junk drawer. Okay? So, junk drawers. Junk drawers are a thing that many people have. Funny thing is we don't really have a junk drawer in my house because everything has a home. So I would offer this. Now, if you're cluttering up your junk drawer, that means that you have stuff. I'm assuming that there are certain things that your junk drawer is the home for certain things. I would say the home for little wanderers. Okay. Knowing that that drawer is where those things go, maybe what you do is you organize those things a bit so that there's a thing that keeps all your pens and pencils in it. And there's where the scissors go. And there's where the Post-it notes go. And that's where the plastic bags are. Like I'm literally just walking through one of my own drawers. And then notice that that's the home for those things. And then catch yourself when you're trying to put something in a home that doesn't really belong there. And here's the funny thing. I think junk drawers to me, I mean, I might have a junk drawer, but it's like I can walk you through it because I know exactly what goes there and what doesn't. On one side, we have like these long things that kind of you close bags with, and then you've got the chip clips, and then I've got my 3 sizes of Ziploc bag, and then I've got the tin foil and parchment paper and saran wrap. And then I will give you this, that there's a little space that's a little tiny place that gets like, gift cards and twist ties and a thing with a razor blade in it and like a couple of mishmashy things, but that's the home for those things. So if you're cluttering up your junk drawer, clutter is stuff that maybe doesn't belong there. If it belongs there, then maybe you make a home for it within there. Now, Judy is saying, this will be interesting, Judy, when we want to talk about this. My junk drawer doesn't stay organized very long. This I love. You guys, I love this because this illustrates habits and patterns and decision making. Because you have a junk drawer that's organized. And then there's decluttering. That's decluttering. You dump out the junk drawer, right? Kind of like the junk drawer of your head. You sort it all out, and then you put in the things back there neatly, like items together, in places that are going to stay there. Then, remember we were talking earlier about your habit brain? Then you have the habit of doing something that then causes your junk drawer to become disorganized again. You have the habit of opening that drawer and putting something in there that either doesn't belong there or it belongs there, but it's not in its right little slot. Yeah, German Maid says, I don't have a junk drawer anymore now that everything has a spot. So you just notice this about yourselves. Judy, between now and the next time we meet, as I like to say, get curious about what's in your junk drawer and what belongs there and what doesn't. And belonging there and doesn't is all decisions up to you. And then if you decide that that's the home for those things, maybe you make an even better home. Like a nice little thing for your pencils. That's the only time I tend to say, kind of quote, and you don't even need to buy products. You can literally use like little plastic or paper boxes or something left over to make little sections for things. But you're making a decision of what, again, here comes the clash. Should I stay or should I go? Does it belong in that drawer or not? If it does belong in that drawer, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to put it right there where it belongs. If it doesn't belong in that drawer, where does it belong? Now that's where usually you're like, well, I don't know. I don't have the time to figure it out. So I'll just shove it in the drawer and I'll deal with it later. You know? Now Cheryl says, how do you get other members of the family to comply? Ooh, I love that word, comply. Now here's where I tend to get on my soapbox about this. I will say this. I think it is imperative that everybody who lives in a communal household participates in the communal keeping the place decluttered. Because decluttering is a life skill. Okay? Decluttering is a life skill. Decluttering, as you've noticed, how many is practicing making decisions, and your decisions create your life. Your decisions will make you decide whether your junk drawer remains tidy or gets junky again. Your decisions will decide whether you go for that job or you don't go for that job. Your decisions, getting good at making decisions is a real skill. Now, many of us didn't learn it because the people we were taught by didn't learn these things ourselves. So as far as getting other members of the family to comply, I will share this with you. First of all, you can't teach somebody something you don't know how to do yourself. I show up only doing this after, for years, decluttering, but then getting some life coaching and all this. I only show up because I know what I'm talking about and I've tested it and it's proven. So I say this, Cheryl, learn how to declutter yourself. Learn the skills of decluttering. Show up and do that with your stuff. Share what you're doing along with the people around you. They're going to notice it because you're going to be doing different things, and your different things are going to be creating a house that is slightly less cluttered. And then it will be one of those things where once you know how to do it, you're bringing them along. It's like, okay, now it's your turn. Now I know how to do this. I'm going to show you how to do this. And basically, honestly, you guys, it's doing things, taking care of your own shit, and also doing your part in the communal, keeping it nice for other people. That should not fall to one person. One person shouldn't be doing all of it for everybody else. That is unequal and it is not sustainable. You know? Okay, Judy, notice, never put those things together. Decision making and decluttering. Oh, hon, we're going to have so much fun when we work together. And just what I want to offer to you now, too. It's so fun. You're showing up and you're getting free one-on-one coaching. Notice, I'm a terrible decision maker. How does that make you feel? Does that make you want to make some decisions? Or if you say, well, I'm not good at this, I'm going to do something I'm not good at, it can stop you from doing it if you're a fixed mindset person. Or you can say, you know what? This is something I want to get better at. I want to get better at decluttering. I want to build my decluttering. You know? Ellen, nice to see you. Always a pleasure. I'm on here for like another 6 minutes, you guys, and then I jump back into coaching, but I'm always just kind of coaching. But notice, when you tell yourself you're not good at something, how does that make you feel? Kind of makes you feel crappy, right? No, I'm not good at this, but notice, conjunction, junction, but I want to get better at it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sign up for coaching. I'm going to learn. I don't know how to do this, but I want to learn how to do it. I don't know how to crochet, but I want to learn because I want to have crocheted items in my house. It's the same type of thing. You know? Yeah. Scrap Lover says, Mom has a very nice large 3-piece entertainment center that is pastime. No bites from free sites. Yeah, you may need to donate it somewhere. Some people don't want. We are all in an era of decluttering, you guys. And it's just going to get, people are already realizing, notice how other people are like, I don't need your things because I can't even deal with my own stuff. Okay? There we go. Scrap Lover says no donation center will come and get it. So I need to have a bonfire with the entertainment center. Yeah, maybe that is the way you get it out of your life. Could be. Notice that back in the day we thought we needed giant storage spaces to store our entertainment, and how much times have changed. Think of china cabinets back in the day. Think of, entertainment centers, of attics and basements and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Now I love this. Lorgim Voorhees started at the beginning of this TikTok live, and she said, I'm going to declutter while I'm up. She says, while we were here together, I got at the surface clutter in the piano room. Awesome. Once I make my to-do list today, I will get to cross it off the list. Yeah. So remember, you can write things down and you can cross it off. Yeah. You got a huge desk in the spare room. Yeah, desks, that's a really good one, Cat Mama. How we used to think we needed a big, heavy desk to store things. My desk is literally a table, and my desk can be wherever I want. We live in a different era than we grew up in. And the things that were important then, some of them are not as important now, and some of them take up a lot of space in our lives, physically and mentally. Oops, sorry. TikTok is making me do this goofy thing. I know, I'm signing off in like 3 minutes, okay? There we go. Vintage Violet Road says, I held onto a cabinet for weeks in my driveway under a tarp. I finally moved it to the trash. It's gone and I'm happy. Yeah. Jojo says, my husband and I cleaned out the attic last week, took 2 SUVs full to the donation center. Yeah. There we go. And this can be a motivator for folks. Chrissy C. Jump says, what really motivated me was, if I left this world today, would I want my kids to deal with it? And if the answer is no, then deal with it now. And then the lovely thing is that's a win-win. Because when you deal with it now, you're still going to be alive, I hope, to enjoy the feeling of not being cluttered. And, again, conjunction, junction. And you won't have stuff that your kids will have to deal with. So do it for your kids, but do it for yourself too. Now, I say this as a life coach. Now, it may be weird for you to think of yourself versus other people. Use the both of them. Even if you do it for them now, you get to live in the results of it. You get to live in a house that looks the way you want it to, feels the way you want it to, and functions the way you want it to. Who doesn't want that? Oh my God, why aren't you racing to get to there? Now, the fact that you're not racing to get there keeps me in business because I'm a decluttering life coach. But just get curious of why you're not started and why you're not doing these things now. I suspect you have some thoughts in your head that make you feel a feeling, and when you feel a feeling, you don't want to do the decluttering. So let's change that if you want to, you know? Okay. Connie says, I've been saying that when we move, do I want to take that with me? And a lot of no's. I will share with you. I don't plan on moving from this house at all, but if we ever did, I would declutter like nobody's business because these things remind me of this place, but they may not carry with me, you know? Yeah, even now, notice this, people, and get on the ball sooner rather than later. I was saying this yesterday, and it bears repeating. Right, Jack White? Donation centers will not take china cabinets, large desks, or entertainment centers. Now, Scrap Lover 150, you could be 100% true, but there may be some that do. But all I say is do it sooner rather than later. You guys, we are on the very cusp of the decluttering. At a certain point, all the normies, all the regular folks are going to be realizing that they have too much stuff around them, and we got to get our stuff into the recycle places before them. All right? So notice that. Start sooner so that there are places that you can donate your stuff while they're still taking them. Yeah, now Chrissy C. Jump says, be careful with burning old furniture because of toxic. Yes, I totally agree with that too. But just notice, I'm going to wrap up here because I need to jump into coaching. Get curious as to why you are still surrounding yourself with stuff you don't want. Curiosity will open up the floodgates in your brain, or just it will allow you to come up with some answers. Ask yourself if those answers make sense to you now. If they make sense, keep doing it. But if they don't, we can change that, okay? Now, boop, I'm going to turn off now. If you're on my Destination Decluttered mailing list, you know when I'm going to do another TikTok live. If you're not on the mailing list, hop on that. DestinationDecluttered.com. Find out my schedule, and I'll see you the next time I do a TikTok live.